council meeting. And if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I get roll call, please, Cindy.
Counselor Hughes. Here. Counselor Lidkey.
Here.
Counselor McElroy.
Here.
Counselor Prokop. Here. Counselor Strobel.
Here.
Counselor Tenbush.
Here.
Mayor Drinkling.
Here. Thank you very much for that. First on our list, we have the guest presentation. We have Dave Hunt from the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Clackamas. It's good to have you. It's been a long time since I saw you.
It has been pre-pandemic for sure.
That's right. How are things going?
Good. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here. And you all are a little ahead of the curve because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we appreciate you taking this up at your April meeting and considering the resolution before you. There is a PowerPoint that I think she's got queued up that has a little bit of information. I think one of the interesting things is I think we've really seen during the pandemic and with so many other things that have been happening recently, the connection between mental health and our schools and our workplaces and our criminal justice system and homelessness and the pandemic, everything. And so if you advance to the next slide, please. I think we're really seeing these impacts. And I mean, the amazing part, if you look at the stats, every year, 1 in 5 Oregonians and 1 in 5 Americans are impacted by mental illness. And that's a direct impact on them. And then if you think about all the family members that one person is impacted by mental illness, there are many, many more that are indirectly impacted. 1 in 15 experience both a mental health disorder as well as a substance abuse problem. And so that's a significant number in and of itself. More than 12 million Americans had thoughts of suicide. That's a huge number. And unfortunately, tragically, 1 suicide death occurs every 11 and a half minutes. If you look in Clackamas County, I mean, tragically, the national number up there, the first bullet, the national suicide rate is 13.8 deaths per 100,000 people. That is bad enough. Unfortunately, it's worse in Oregon, where it's 18.3 deaths per 100,000. And it's even worse in Clackamas County, where we're 18.8 deaths per 100,000 population. These are some things we can do something about. A lot of it is being willing to talk about it. So we appreciate you taking this up. This issue up today and this month, because suicide is the 12th leading cause of death overall, but tragically the 2nd leading cause of death among teenagers. And actually, a couple of years out of the last 5, it was number 1 among that population, 15 to 24. The number 1 cause of death was suicide. So if you please go to the next slide. If you're not familiar with NAMI Clackamas, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, we're the local affiliate. We focus just on Clackamas County. Been around since 1978. It was all volunteer for a lot of years, and we've had staff for about the last 13 years. But we are 100% 501c3 nonprofit. All of our services are free. So the next few slides, I'm going to just quickly go through those services just so you and your constituents have a sense of what services are available for free across our community. If you go to the next slide, we offer free classes. In fact, right now we have both a peer-to-peer class, so taught by mental health clients, for mental health clients, as well as a family-to-family class. It's an 8-week series. It's a deep dive into a whole variety of issues around mental illness and helps and support that's available. We find, particularly among the family members, so many people go through this class and come out of it saying, I had no idea there were other people who are going through the same tragic situation I'm going through. So it brings so much hope and help to these folks. We also have a NAMI basics class that is specifically for parents and guardians of youth. All of those, again, are free. If you go to the next slide, we also offer free presentations. We'll come out to Rotary clubs, chambers of commerce, neighborhood associations. We've started to offer it to businesses that will come in and do a free lunch and learn for employees. We ask ideally that you make it optional for your employees, because forced lunch and learns about mental health are probably not a great idea for employees. But we found so far that a lot of employees are signing up. They're getting it. They're seeing the impacts on their lives and their communities. And then one of the coolest things we do is ending the silence presentations. where we go out. Right now, we're just going out to high schools. We eventually plan to take it down to middle schools, but we have a specific program that is taught by both a lead teacher and a young adult. And this young adult has suffered with mental illness, but has really is there to tell a hopeful story of how to find help. And we're getting great responses. So we're offering that to all 10 school districts across the county. You go to the next slide, we also offer free support groups. So every week we have 3 peer support groups. Every month we have 3 family support groups that are happening. We also have a suicide bereavement group and an art and mental health group. That one's the suicide bereavement group is now going 1 week online, 1 week face-to-face. This is kind of the transition time, and the art group is just about to go back to face-to-face. And then the last slide about our services talks about the one-on-one peer help. We have 2 staff who are peer resource coordinators who again are available to work one-on-one with people by phone, by Zoom, in person. And they've got a whole variety of resources, some to work on some issues that are directly mental health related, but also things like just trying to find a provider, or trying to find mental health housing, or trying to find insurance, or a whole variety of things that are somewhat indirectly related to mental health. So again, all those are 100% free. If you go to the next slide, you'll see our contact information. Again, we are focused 100% on Clackamas County, really here to be a resource. And I think we're at this interesting intersection right now where there is a greater awareness about the impacts of mental health, but also a greater willingness for people to talk about it. Because if we don't talk about these issues, they're never going to be addressed and solved. So you have a resolution before you, and I appreciate one of the counselors, actually, she didn't tell me which one, but one of the counselors suggested a tweak to it, which we thought was great. And we're going to actually include that tweak in the other resolutions we bring to other councils to add a specific provision related to veterans. So thank you for that suggestion, and thanks for considering the resolution today.
We are very proud of what you're doing here with this. You know, it's been a long time coming, the push for mental health. I think it's very important, and what we're seeing all over the state as a whole. I mean, we need it more than ever. So I'm really excited about what you're doing, and I think everybody up here is as well. So we appreciate you tonight, and thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
The proclamation is included in the consent agenda. And so we'll do the citizen and community group comments. And then after that's approved through the consent agenda, then perhaps we could do a little photo.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. All right, next we are at citizen and community group comments. I have 2 in front of me. First one is Bennett Johnson.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for having me. So I have 2 things, and the first one kind of simple. The first commission that I was on for Estacada was the Tourism Commission, and many years ago. And we had a very difficult time getting out of the gates because we had different people showing up at every single meeting. And as some of you know, a number of years ago, I was chair of the Estacada Chamber of Commerce. And what we had a lot of members that were on the board that kind of felt like it was their privilege or our privilege to have them attend meetings. So what I'm here to ask you is to actually take attendance very seriously at commissions, because there are rules in your code about the attendance requirements, and we don't enforce them at all. So if people miss a certain number of meetings, then they are supposed to be removed from their position by you. And so I would ask that you guys request or require attendance reports, and that we change this from being a meetings that, you know, people show up when they have time to something that people are very committed to. I'd rather have 2 people show up that are committed and they show up every single month than 5 people that show up periodically. Half the time you don't get a quorum. And I think this is a very, very serious thing, and I hope you'll pay attention to it. So the next thing, and I just wanted to add, if you don't pay attention to it, this commission work by most of these commissions is just a waste of time, because we can't get what we should be able to get done because of lack of attendance. Okay, next one has to do with, I no longer own a hospitality business in this town, so I do not have a horse in this race. But I would like you to consider when you're talking about food carts and different food cart installations throughout Estacada, that you keep in mind that you have bricks and mortar restaurants and coffee shops, that sort of thing, that are here that have made a huge investment in the town, their own life savings, their own time and energy. Just an enormous amount of effort goes into starting a restaurant. Whereas the food carts, and nothing against them, they're fun and they offer variety. I like that. I'm just asking for balance, because when you have those competitors in place, they compete with your bricks and mortar businesses. And those are the ones that actually, if for no other reason, they're the ones that are paying the biggest tax base and of, providing your budget with dollars to do things in this town. So food carts, their allegiance to a town is, do I have to go now? Yeah.
It's your wording, but we thank you, Bennett. We
Okay,
appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, next I have Shirley Burke.
Hi, I'm here on behalf of Casadero Court residents and the residents around the school. Okay, we have a parking situation very badly on Broadway because we have the parking that you guys put in, slant parking. Now we have all the ball fields, which those ball field parking, and we have a mobile home that does not move. Okay, it's causing a lot of problems. So we're asking for a three-way stop on 10th and Broadway. Because every time we go to pull out there, you can't see traffic coming this way. And I went to come out tonight, and there's cars on both sides of the road parked, and this car comes swinging around, almost hit me head on, because she can't see me and I can't see her. And then Eagle Creek Highway, I would like to know, what is the city limits on Eagle Creek Highway? What does it stop and start? I know what it starts, but what
Depends on the
is it?
side of the road.
Yeah, I think the Mormon church on one side, right? And then on the other side, it goes down to River Mill Road, right there to the edge.
I think it's not quite out to River Mill Road yet, but it's close. We'd like to treat it as if it's all in city limits.
Can we give her a map at the end
Sure.
of the meeting?
Yeah.
So I all I know is I want to know the name of the road. I know that area. I've been there for over 20 years. So, but the problem is that the speed limit, 25-mile speed limit, needs to be moved out, coming into town, out to the city limits. Because people just come barreling through there. And it's bad enough going this way. They're somewhat, but I mean, they come through there 60, 70 miles an hour sometimes, especially late at night. And it's just getting ridiculous. What was kind of funny this morning, though, is somebody's talking about the ducks, crossing the road and getting hit, because some people actually try to hit them. I says, you know what, guys, all you have to do is honk your horn or clap your hands if you're walking. But that road is getting bad. I mean, and as far as the school road, the Broadway, you guys painted the curves yellow, but it's not doing anything. The cars are parked bumper to bumper every ball game.
Well, Shirley, I think we're in agreement on the stop sign or, the slow down signs.
Yeah,
I think it's time to move them. We had them once before, if I remember right.
I had them changed once.
Yeah.
because we just put the new park in. And all of a sudden it's 30 miles an hour through there. So I called the county and the county said, well, we can change that. But the only reason we changed it because somebody got a ticket and complained about it. So we changed the speed limit. It needs to be 25 miles an hour.
I think we're in agreement there. I think that's something we'll look into and we'll definitely let you know when we
Yeah,
get to that
well,
point to change
they all-
it. You'll see it.
Yeah, anyway, Broadway needs to be worked on.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you, Shirley. We
thank you.
appreciate you. All right. Next, I have Brandy Litke.
Hi, guys. Sorry I had to run it up there last minute. I just wanted to let everyone know here and the council know. The fire station is doing a community breakfast on Sunday, the 30th from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. There's a bunch of us that are volunteering. It's for the Nelson family. It's a fundraiser to help cover medical expenses. The details are online. I'm not going to put that out there right now, but we'd love to see everyone, as many people there as possible. This family has done a lot for our community. Brooke is a volunteer firefighter. He also works for the city, and his wife, Chris, she rescues animals. She's been rescuing animals in our town for 20+ years. So I'd love to see the whole town show up. If we could have that happen, that would be amazing. But I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Sure. And there's a flyer I have up here for anybody that'd like to look at it for that very thing. So we appreciate you. If you get a chance, I'll put it on the back table here, but it talks all about it and where you need to go and everything. So we appreciate Brooke and everybody there, and they're going through a hard time, and we seriously are on their side. And it's a sad thing. So thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. So you've all had a chance to read it over. Are there any issues that you'd like to pull out or anything before we continue on? If not, can I have a motion on the floor?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll Okay.
second that.
I've got a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And now we can do that photograph before we go. Okay, that'd be good. Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. Okay. Okay. Now we're at department and committee reports. So we're going to start off with all the commissions, and they're going to go over the things they've been working on and everything. So this is exciting. I always like this part. We have Parks and Rec, Vincent up first. Vincent here? Oh, okay. Are you there, Vincent?
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, my name is Vincent. I am the current chair of the Parks and Rec Committee. And this year, so we're looking at about 6 events, which is what we've been at for the last few years. For those events, we were looking at a budget of about $11,000. The 6 events are the Spring to Spring, which we just had. We got postponed by the snow. The upcoming one, probably next couple of weeks, will be the Art in the Park, where all the kiddos come out and sell their little handcrafts and art and all that good stuff. We have the summer concert coming up soon, the Trick or Trot and the Candy Cane Hunt, and those are our 6 events. For the breakdown of how the budget works, our Sprint into Spring event, we put about $600 towards that event every year. The Art in the Park, we put about $200. For the summer concert, that's far and away our most expensive thing, is $6,000 every year. And the Trick or Trot is about $1,000. The Candy Cane Hunt is about $400, and the flyers for that go into the water bills for all the events are about $200 a piece. So it comes out to about $800. So in total, all the events cost us around $10,000, and we put an extra $1,000 into the budget just for hopefully more community turnout for those events. We've gotten a lot of increased turnout over the last couple of years, but we're really prioritizing more turnout. I think we're pretty comfortable with the number of events that we host for the city. And we're just looking to build them out more, make them a bit more robust, maybe get some vendors involved, get some of the vendors like within the city limits, get more involved into our events and get them a little bit bigger and I think that's our main goal for the year, is trying to get as much community turnout as possible on our events.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Vincent. That sounds really exciting. I think we're all on board with increasing that, make that a nicer event. I mean, it sounds really good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, are there any questions for Vincent before we let him go? No, everybody's good. All right. Next, I have the library, Connie.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, the library, our work plan. This year, we will review and update the library policies such as computer use policy and the library user code of conduct. Most of the policies were adopted in 2009, but some have been updated since then. Most will not change substantially. In the last quarter, the library on floral usage policy. We conducted interviews and selected library board members. We discussed and voted to approve the 2023-24 library budget. And we discussed library improvement ideas for sunshades in the floral. If you've ever been in there on a sunny day, it can be very distracting. That's pretty much it. Again, I just want to thank Michelle and her staff. They do an incredible job. And thank you to Councilor Strobel for being our liaison and showing up at our.
All right, thank you, Connie.
Yep.
All right, are there any questions for Connie?
I had one question for you, Connie. Where did you guys proceed with going through on not charging for the rental of the new room out there?
We are going to make a recommendation to the city council because as I understand it, you guys will be setting a fee. We strongly believe there should be a fee. We feel that the fee will hold people accountable. You know, it's not going to be anything high, $25. And
Well, yeah,
people are-
my thoughts were hold a deposit because that can hold them accountable. And then if they return it nicely, not charge for it. But like you said, I think that's something the city council is going to discuss. So
Yeah.
thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
I was just going to clarify, my understanding is the city is going to be handling the fees for that room as opposed to the library. So that's.
Yeah.
We're
an
going to
update
run it
here.
through parts,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Connie. We appreciate that
Yeah.
update.
Thank you.
Okay, the DIC, Evan and Mike. Oh, Aaron, sorry. The eyes go after a while, you know, it's the first
No,
thing.
the R's, I think the ERAN throws people off. Aaron Smith,
Mike Anderly, we're just co-presenting.
that's right, safety in numbers. Okay, so we have a plan for the year, the projects and things that we want to accomplish. The first umbrella category is community engagement. And we are hoping to engage with more community groups and churches and also get more youth or student voice in the DEIC. So we'll be working on creating a directory of sorts to try to gather all the different organizations that we can so that we have an outreach list that we can work off of.
We'd also like to ask for people's input in creating and expanding that list as well for as many different sort of compartments in the community as we can get.
Can you talk into the mic for the people online?
Yeah. We're looking to continue to expand that list of outreach and different people's representation. So anyone can contribute to that.
Right. So I think we will be sort of formally, informally going to each of the other committees and asking them if they can provide us with any community groups or if there's segments of the population that we are overlooking. The next sort of umbrella category is gathering information. So we're planning to do some focus groups, listening sessions, and surveys just to make sure we're getting as many voices and as much input as possible. We really want to focus on unincorporated Estacada because we don't know that they always have as much of a voice. Anything you want to add to that one? Into the mic, Mike?
Yeah, especially unincorporated Clackamas County, that includes my family. So we don't have as much representation with our votes. So we would like to make sure that those people have a seat at the table. think that's it for that little.
Yep. The next umbrella, we have a lot of umbrellas. Working with other committees. So we're hoping to find ways that we can partner with the different committees. We know that there are the childcare zoning happening with the Planning Commission, potential for accessible play equipment with the Parks and Rec, and the discussion of ADA ramps with the Traffic and Public Safety Committee. So those are things that we see are clear overlaps with the work that we're doing that we're hoping to partner with. Anything about that umbrella? No, okay. Then we have continuing the development of the equity lens. So that's something we will continue to utilize and review and make adjustments as necessary so that it can become a workable tool for everyone. And then there's just the general work we'll continue to do throughout the year, things like code updates. So we really want to take a look at the code, but it's huge. So we are looking at the different code items as they come up and discussions in the work that y'all are doing. That's when we'll take a focused look at different parts of the code and provide any recommendations and feedback on any changes or anything that needs to be adjusted. We're looking at participation accessibility and really trying to look at who is participating in city events, in city committees, and who is not participating so that we can increase access to your government, to your city for all the folks. And then we just have our budget recommendation, I think.
Which is $1,200 for the year. We could say that breaks down to $100 a month. And that's just for continuing sort of our reach and outreach. And do you have anything more?
Yep, we haven't requested a budget before. This is the first time as we're moving into the third year of this committee existing. So we're at a point where we feel that we would like to do more outreach and engagement, and being able to provide snacks or do different marketing for those events will be important. So definitely it'll be a learning year for us, and we will look to see how our budget is utilized and then be able to make adjustments every year from here on out.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for?
Always want the
Yeah,
questions. Quick, two questions for you. For expanding the list, what's the best way for community members that may want to have put like their organization or resources on the list? How should they reach out?
And we have an email address like all of the committees. So, and it's up on the web page. So it's really easy for somebody to send information to us that way.
Didn't we, at our last meeting, we talked, I believe, with Elena about there's already a pre-existing list that's in the hands of the city. I think that's also accessible through the city website. I'm not exactly sure how we add to that. I guess you could go through, email our committee, and then we can get that information to the appropriate destination.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a second question, Mayor. Now you said gathering information. Could you expand on a little bit of what you're looking for when you say gathering information? The kind of ominous.
Do you mean, oh, in that umbrella?
Yeah, that's kind of some of the things you're looking for when you say you're trying to gather information.
Sure.
I'm just kind of curious with that.
Sure. Different accessibility issues for different groups in the community, getting around town, access to internet and Wi-Fi, just kind of reaching out to different communities. I know it can be scary for people to come to a meeting. So if we can get out and hear what different issues or challenges folks have, then we can add that to the work that we're doing to try to, increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in the city.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a great presentation. Thank you, guys. All right, we got the arts, and I don't have anybody speaking on that, do we? Okay, who do we got coming? Jesse and Deborah? All
Deborah
right.
can go first. I'll go after her.
All right. Hi, everyone. Deborah Vendetta. I am co-chair of the Estacada Area Arts Commission with Jesse. We've prepared our budget for this year, and we are looking at a lot of grant writing and other fundraisers to continue putting on a full slate of annual and seasonal events. Last year we had One Page Estacada, which was a literary event pretty much every month of the year. And we're continuing a similar event this year called Estacada Creates, which is the second Thursday of each month. We will have an event from 7 to 9 p.m. Some have been at Ant Farm, which is partnering with us to help put on these events. We were recently at the library, and we're exploring literature, fine arts. We had a painting class, music. We've had an open mic night, and we're going to continue with this through the rest of the year. And we've had a lot of fun and met some nice community members. These events will be free for everyone who attends. And we're trying to do them on the cheap if we can. So that's what our low budget expense is. But if we receive the RAC grant that former Commissioner and Chair Chelsea Biondillo applied for, we'll be able to do a lot more with supplying different art materials for people to use and bringing in other performers and facilitators. So we're really excited about having an ongoing event that people can attend and explore everything that there is to offer in the arts in our town.
All right, thank you on that. Jesse, you want to add something to that?
I would love to. Just to mention about a couple other events that we have going on. We will, of course, be doing the chalk walk again this year. We've got the coloring contest going on now, but there'll also be one in the fall or the winter. And most notably, I'm super excited to announce that we are bringing back a art and music festival this summer. So July 29th in the new part of Wade Creek and possibly spilling over into the old part as well. We are going to have a community celebration of art and music. So we're really excited about that. We're going to have some food vendors, local art and craft vendors, lots of musical performances, and hopefully lots of really great interactive art activities as well. So we are about to sort of shout that wide from the rooftops and get people excited about it. So we're really excited to bring that back this year. It's going to be called our first annual Arts at the Creek event. So we're hoping that this will be our next annual community arts celebration, and we're really excited to bring that back this year.
All right, well, I'm kind of excited about that too. I didn't know it was happening. So it's good to hear there's more events coming this summer. So we appreciate it. Is there
Great.
anything
And
else?
I was just going to say, community-wise, we'll also be looking for lots of community involvement and volunteers. So requests for that will go out on social media and out and about soon. So keep your eyes peeled because we'd love to have as many community members involved as possible.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for the Arts Commission? No, everybody's good. All right, we thank you, ladies. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I have on the commissions. Is there two more? Oh, traffic. Yeah, that's right. Yep, traffic safety. I almost forgot Jim there. Jim, you there?
You gotta hit it.
There he is.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate being here this evening. We've been busy lately. I'm Jim Moriarty with the Traffic and Public Safety Committee. I just want to go through things that we've been doing and then go into work progress or work plan for the year and then on to the budget. All right, we're excited about our new Facebook page, getting things out there, primarily what we've been doing, whether it be our design workshops or mock-ups. We recently also passed and it's on the website for everyone's perusal there, a traffic safety and or control device request that can be filled out and everyone can review it there. And it can be hand carried, faxed, emailed to City Hall if you have a safety issue or if you need something, a traffic control device request, and all the instructions are there on the website. Also, to go along with that, recently we had issues, with the stop signs on Shafford, and the Shafford Road traffic data is also up on our part of the website also. We plan to do other traffic sharing, and we can have those up also in the future. We have a new member of the Traffic Public Safety Committee, Heath Sedberg. So welcome, Heath. I appreciate you guys for selecting Heath. He's going to be a great addition to the committee. Let's see, we've been getting around going to, we've attended Estacada School District meeting. I know Brandy and Casey attended that. We'll talk about that at our meeting tomorrow night. And we also got out there to the Eagle Creek Barton CPO in regards to Amsiger Road proposal and Deuce Road construction and Eagle Creek Road. And we've also got out to the last What's Up Estacada, and I know another one's coming up here pretty soon. So we'll be looking forward to seeing everybody there. And let's see, I got everything intermingled here, so bear with me. Going forward, neighborhood watch events. This link is on our website on the city page. We're interested in getting people involved in the community and letting people know about the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department. Officer McClung, she'll come out and give classes to neighborhoods that want to do that, and then signage will be given after completion of the training. That's on the website. And let's see, some What's Up Estacada events, and that was budgeted for $500. We have our mock-ups for the streets, sidewalks, evacuation routes, park safety, reflective vests. I mean, the list is long, so we're just going to want to look at the, Cascadia Ridge area, Campanella Estates, Deuce Road, 4th Avenue in Maine, we've already looked at. That was budgeted for $1,200, looking at the pairing with Estacada School District upon collaborating with Clackamas County Sheriff's Department, conducting some active shooter drills, possibly a DUI vehicle to be placed on the premises in time for prom, because that's our number one goal that we have is school zone crossing safety, lighting, and all the safety for our kids and grandkids here in town. That's another part there for the school events. We're going to have someone come in from Clackamas County. We're going to try to incorporate the county, having some safety events with the school. That's budgeted for $1,700. Police reports and citations, so we can advise the public on police reports, citations, body cam footage, and dash cameras. Moving on to our programs, our safety programs, that's been budgeted for $500. An example of this would be the National Night Out, which is approaching in the summertime, first Tuesday in August 1st. We'll have supplies, handouts, food. We'll have some other events also. Child safety seat event with Estacada Fire, Clackamas County Sheriff's Department, and the rest I have is something that I believe is going to Public Works, but that entailed new square reader signs for neighborhoods, equipping the 4 school zones with crosswalk signs, flashers, ground, the pedestrian lighting, portable speed bumps for neighborhoods or speeding areas, and stop signs. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Are there any questions for Jim? Joel first and then Paul.
I think you gave us the budget kind of broken down a little bit. Can you give us a rough idea what the total budget is you're asking
I'm
for?
sorry.
And including what
Councilor Litsky, it's a grand total of $4,400.
is that including what you're asking for public works specific stuff you recommended?
No, that would be a grand total of $34,342.
So about 30,000 for the public works. Okay,
Yes, 29.9.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul.
Hey, Jim, you'd mentioned, I believe at the beginning, something about a traffic safety request.
Yes,
Could you give a little more info on that? Maybe an example too?
yes. People are having an issue, perhaps a sidewalk, people speeding in the neighborhood. People in a community all get together and perhaps sign a petition to try to get something accomplished. Now we've put it on a form that says the city of Estacada who to contact, where is this going on, what's the location, map a diagram, describe the reason for the request, attach supporting documents. And then on the second one, it has exactly what to do if you have a safety request or if you're requesting a traffic control device.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Any other questions for Jim? No, we appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much from the traffic safety.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. I have Bennett and Hannah from the Downtown Estacada Commission.
Hi, we, on the Downtown Estacada Commission, our focus is to promote and revitalize the downtown core. And we'd like to thank Councilor Lickey for working with us in the past, and also Councilor Tenbush for working with us going forward. The total budget that we'll be requesting this year is $10,816. That includes $500 for volunteer recruitment, because we have a lot of events and things that we need to get people helping. $3,000 for door hangers that Hannah's going to talk to you about. $2,000 for newspaper inserts. $1,200 for the 4th of July parade. $316 to join MailChimp or something like that, or some other email subscription program. For our monthly e-newsletter, which goes out to a lot of people, and $7,500 for our Oktoberfest that we have planned in September. So some of these expenses may actually be offset by income, but since the Oktoberfest is a first-time event, we have no idea how to predict that. So we're asking for a healthy budget on that to make sure we cover everything and have a wonderful event. Our opinion is that $10,000 is a pretty reasonable budget, because really most everything that we're doing is done by volunteers, and also because we are marketing, basically doing advertising and marketing for the downtown core. And we've been told by city staff that the eventual plan is to have us be self-sustaining. Since we're all volunteers, we don't actually agree with that. We think that that it's reasonable for the city to pay for the marketing of the downtown core. So, and I just want to add that Connie Redmond has an embarrassing number of these projects in her court. And so the rest of us are just kind of like assistants to her. So the projects that we're doing, Hannah and I are both going to explain it. First of all, we do monthly submissions to the newspaper. You've probably seen some of those articles in the newspaper lately, and we're focusing on the history of Estacada, events that are coming up, and also awareness of what this commission does, because I think there's a lot of commissions in Estacada that don't get a lot of, and I'm not even looking at recognition. I just want people to know what's going on in city government and with these commissions. Also, we take that copy that we write for the newspaper submissions, and we put that in our monthly e-newsletters along with any other announcements that we have. And that e-newsletter goes out to more than 1,000 people. And so we're pretty happy with that. We also do monthly social media. We use that same copy. Plus we do volunteer recruitment. We're looking at people that want to sign up for very time limited types of things, maybe come in and help for a couple of hours setting up for an event or tearing down, but not ongoing huge commitments. And then the Oktoberfest, the last thing I'm going to talk about is that the Uncorked, we decided had kind of run its course. And so we decided to combine the Harvest Festival that we were having in September, along with the Uncorked event, into one really super fun event, Oktoberfest, that'll feature a lot of the foods and the craft beer and wine from this particular area. Hannah.
Right. And I will continue. So those are our projects, and we have continued to work on our social media. both Instagram and Facebook, posting more of what she said, kind of on our e-newsletter. We kind of try to post it all the same things to keep it cohesive on Instagram and Facebook, trying to revive that and just get to the people who are on social media. And then, so for some tangible marketing that we're working on for people who might not have access to internet or be on social media, we're doing 2 new things this year. We're doing door hangers that will have a listing on one side of the upcoming events, and then on the back, it'll be a list of all the downtown core businesses, so people can look that up. And also along with that, newspaper inserts in the pamphlet. It'll be the same content as the door hangers, but just another way to get the information out to people who just a different audience and different way to deliver this information. And these things, the door hanger and newspaper inserts are kind of like keepers to be hung up on your fridge type of thing. And then our recent upcoming event for the 4th of July is coming up, and it's always a big hit. Last year was awesome. Our theme, we have yet to come up with a theme this year, but we're going to vote probably next meeting. And we made a post on Facebook to kind of get some people's input on what they think it should be called, and got some good ideas. So that was fun. The parade does have income potential, which is always a good thing. And lastly, our commission has no openings after the approval of the last referral, which is nice since it's been some time since we've had a full commission. So that's a plus. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Well, thank you. No, I think that was pretty good. Paul or Jerry?
Jerry, and thank you, Jerry, for being our council. Appreciate you.
What I stopped, my brain stopped.
Newspaper.
No, the parade.
Marketing parade,
The parade,
4th of July.
the,
Theme?
no. I can't.
Sorry.
The map, it just fell. What, the,
Vendor.
no, the person, the.
The
important-
date of it?
the
Do you know when it
important-
is?
The Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
That, yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys decided on Grand Marshal for the parade? I'm sorry,
No.
my brain just would not function at that
Okay.
moment.
We haven't, but we've been thinking of ideas. I think we're open to suggestions, but we have,
The theme, and then we'll look at who's the right brand marshal.
yeah,
There you
yeah, we have some ideas.
go.
embarrassed.
Paul and then Mike.
Just want to say thanks for all the work that you guys put into getting the activities and events going on here in Estacada. I'd served on the committee for a while. I know what
Yeah.
kind of work that takes, so really appreciate that. And I know in the past, we were talking about Main Street, the affiliation with the Main Street Committee. Was anything ever resolved on that? Is that still an outstanding question as well, too?
We're still a part of it, the Main Street program.
What happened is that we decided that we would apply for a Main Street grant. And we would find out whether or not we were accepted for that grant, because we applied for it before and we didn't get it. And so we're in the process right now.
Yeah.
Hannah's actually our grant applicant. And so if we get it, then we'll need to stay in the Main Street. It'll be a nice economic boost to our downtown core. But if we don't get it, we'll be coming back to you to have that discussion, because there are a lot of, as you know, there are some things that are really good, but the thing we bump into most often is that we're the downtown core. That's all we're supposed to focus on. So up at the library, that's not in our zone. So any businesses that are outside of our zone, we're not supposed to focus on those. So we may want to talk, I mean, I look at it, I think we look at it as we're an economic development commission. And with that lens, then it's really just focusing on a few of the businesses that are in the downtown is somewhat limiting.
Yeah.
So we're in
Yeah,
it for another
Mike?
year.
Gotcha.
Can you briefly describe what you guys are gonna spend the $7,500 for the Oktoberfest on?
Vendors, licensing or insurance.
Yeah, yeah, insurance is some of it, marketing is some of it. There's a lot of things like tents. There'll be, there will, yeah, porta potties, also entertainment for it.
Polka
So,
music, we're gonna have some bands.
yeah, because we want to have polka music. So that means that we're going to actually need to hire those bands.
It's gonna be a beer garden, yeah.
I'm curious, are you bringing in any of the local food vendors, the food trucks that are already here?
Yeah.
Are you bringing in some of those?
Actually, that's a conversation that we
Yeah,
had,
current.
is that we do not want to bring in vendors for food or drink that are going to compete with our businesses downtown that we are supposed to be promoting. And so we want to give them first crack, all the restaurants and, drink establishments in the downtown. We want to give them first crack at participating in this before we look at anybody from the outside.
Thank you.
Yeah, in hopes that they might want to try out some German food or
Yeah.
a new recipe or whatever.
That'd be
Bratwurst.
nice.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, we thank you. That was very in-depth. We appreciate all the information. It's great to see that you're doing all these great events, bringing it back into the downtown core. I am really excited about what's happening. I think everybody at the table is as well. So we appreciate you tonight. Thank
We
you.
get those lederhosen and dirndl skirts.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of my reports. Is there anything more on there? And then I will go to the city manager's report.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly ask for their council consensus that all of the work plans and budgets presented are acceptable and approved and supported.
Yeah, I think everybody
Okay,
is
great,
on board with it.
fantastic, thank you. Okay, I'll just do a quick city manager report here. First of all, I wanted to call out in the consent agenda, there's the resolution to designate Estacada as B City USA affiliate was approved. And we have Merrick Stanton here tonight. So I just wanted we breezed past that pretty quick to get to the rest of the meeting, but we're excited about being a B City USA affiliate. And you'll see a sign going up so more people will know. And I know that Merrick's committee will be doing some education and outreach. And so I think it's good timing. I think it's something people are interested in and supportive of for the community. So thank you for that. And thank you for approving that. And then I just also wanted to say we've been getting some calls about yard debris, and the workaround we've been doing for the past couple summers is putting a big garbage bin or yard debris bin down by the wastewater treatment plant. But that space is now being taken up by what's going to be our dewatering equipment and a new pole barn. So we've kind of struggled with what to do with this. We've been talking with our garbage haulers. It's to implement a new program in relatively small, less than 2,000 homes. It's, I think, 18 or 1,900 homes. Whereas in Sandy, they have 4,000 homes and they do provide yard debris service, but I'm kind of going to keep pushing them a little bit, see what we can do, but we're going to put out a survey to see, what is it worth it to enough people, because it would cost extra money on the bill to add this program. Because we're at a distance from where they do provide it. The county doesn't offer it in any of their contracts. We're at a distance and we're small. So the plan is at this point to go ahead and the first weekend of June and the first weekend of July, we're going to put a couple of dumpsters in the portal parking lot area. It'll be the honor system because we can't lock it up at night. We need only yard debris in there. Because if anything besides yard debris goes in, then it has to be dumped as garbage, and that kind of defeats the purpose. And so we'll do that first weekend of June, first weekend of July, see how it goes if we need to do it again. Because I know people are struggling with what to do with this. So we're working on it. Watch for the survey to come out in the next month or so, and any creative options. Rick Winterhalter at the county has suggested there's got to be a creative option we can come up with out here that'll work for us. So any ideas, we're open to that. You have a question? Counselor Lickman?
Yeah, two things. One for the, since we're putting them in the portal parking lot, is it possible to put up a temporary camera system or something like a trail cam or something where it watches over it? And then if we find that there is garbage being dumped, we can go back and get that. They have
That's-
remote
yeah.
access ones and things you
That's
can
a
do.
Possibility.
Just something so that we can see who's possibly done dumping that.
Mhm.
And then the second part is, have we reached out to McFarland's? I know they're a private company. They might be willing to arrange, I think they do hauling and stuff. They might be willing to work some sort of system with us during the summer to do some hauling. We reach out to them at all?
Okay, I have not reached out to them for hauling. Or I think that's where they might take the yard
That's where they
debris.
take it, but I think they also have a hauling service too.
Oh,
At least they
okay.
used to. I don't know. It's been a
Okay,
while, but
Let me check into that then.
thanks.
Thank you. Counselor Strobel, question?
Yeah, to clarify with, if yard debris were added to the current services that are out there, you say that fees would increase. Because, but would that be something people could opt out of? Or would that be just fees that would go to everybody? Do we know that?
It would likely be fees that would go to everybody, because if we do the opt-in, opt-out, then that means we have even less people paying into the system. And so to keep it at a nominal, nominal as we can, if everybody pays, then everybody could also use it. But that's problematic because, probably not everybody wants it, but I think there's enough people that do that we might need to, but I wanted to bring, maybe I'm a penny pincher and I'm thinking that's a lot of money, it could be, $8 to $10 extra a month, which to me, that's a lot, but to add on to a garbage bill. But maybe it's not when you think about what you're getting, and maybe over time that could come down as we add more homes and as they, how, I don't know.
I think it would
possible.
be good to know what that fee would be.
Mhm.
Because for some people that might
might
be a
be.
drop in the bucket and they'd be happy to pay it for that service too.
We've talked about running it just during the summer too, everybody pays in the summer and then you're off for the winter, but it's difficult. Okay, more questions? Counselor Timbush?
This is just a thought, throwing it out there. Has the city looked into maybe possibly recycling some of that yard debris towards our landscaping, towards our bark mulch? When we put mulch out in our landscaping, have you looked at the possibility of taking some of that and just running it through a chipper and using that as for some of our landscaping projects?
I have not looked at that either. That's an idea. We'd have to divide. I think a lot of the stuff that comes in is grass clippings and things like that. But that would be an idea too. Okay. More ideas.
Same
idea?
I actually had chipper written down there. I was wondering what they
Okay.
do when they process it at McFarland's, if there's a way to have the process happen here locally to be able to reuse some of the
Mhm.
material.
Okay. So we've got some things to check into. Thank you. And any other thoughts that come to mind, or somebody who might want to compost it on site and utilize that for, we thought about Estacada bark or something, but we haven't, I don't know of anybody who else to ask. So if you guys think of something that might be feasible, let me know. And then just real quickly, I wanted to say, at the couple meetings, last meeting or the couple meetings ago, we talked about tourism and prioritizing tourism, and I don't have anything to, I don't have any program to bring back to you today, but I just wanted you to know I'm working on that, looking at options, working on an application process and how to work that out to do for the coming year. So that's
Great.
all that I have.
Thank you. And I'm going to add in just at this moment, I was going to wait till I have comment, but I noticed that our representative Heap was here with his lovely wife and their newest little one. So I wanted to say thanks for coming in tonight and being a part of our little city. And we appreciate you and everything you do. Thank you. Okay, now we are at council business. I have one thing on council business. I have the ordinance 2023-004, an ordinance implementing a transient lodging tax rate. And that's going to be talking about a rate that works. I think you had brought up before that 7% was the standard.
The average, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And so at the March 27th council meeting, council directed staff to bring back a transient lodging tax rate at 7% for approval or for review and possible approval by the council. So this is an ordinance. We're doing it by ordinance instead of resolution, because a resolution you pass it once and it's done. And that's how we intended to do it in 2020. And then with everything that happened, we didn't ever adopt that rate. And so this time we're bringing it back again by ordinance. Peter recommended doing that so that it'll be heard twice, gives people more opportunity to say something if they have any concerns or input on that. And so it's presented tonight as an ordinance for you.
Okay.
And with an ordinance, that also means that if people wanted to refer this to a public vote, then they could do that.
Okay.
So, and I'm not aware of any opposition to this, but we want to give everyone the opportunity to be heard on this.
Okay, great. Thank you. So really tonight, this is just a hearing on this. We don't have to vote tonight on this, right?
This would be your first vote, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
first
this would
vote.
Be the first vote. If
Okay.
There's a motion and a second and you could.
Can I
vote.
get a motion on the floor?
Good question for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did we put this out on the website yet, as we discussed?
Yes, it went on the, I notified the newspaper and then I also put it in. That was Friday, so long ago. I put it on Facebook. Don't know that I put it like any special announcement on the website, but it went onto Facebook, I figured. It is in the council packet that's on the website, but I did a little blurb about the things you were going to be discussing tonight, and I included that on Facebook to help raise more awareness.
Awesome.
Great.
I move to approve ordinance 2023-004, an ordinance implementing a transient lodging tax rate of 7%.
Okay.
second.
I have a first, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we are at the next citizen and community group comment. I have none in front of me.
We have
so-
one online.
Oh, do I? Okay, go ahead.
Am I ready?
You're on there. Yep, we got you.
I do want to clarify something for the Downtown Estacada Commission. I failed to let Hannah and Bennett know that we did have confirmation on our Grand Marshal, and it is going to be the American Legion Post. They will be our Grand Marshals for this year's parade. So excited to have them. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Connie. Appreciate that.
Okay, so the chamber. The chamber continues to grow business community support with several new members and increase of new resident inquiries for service and recommendations. We have hosted ribbon cuttings, promoted specials, and created collaborations. We've assisted business and organizations with the increased need for staffing by advertising job openings through our large network. We hosted a very successful shred day for the community, providing safe and eco-friendly options to protect personal privacy. We are gearing up for our annual fundraiser on June 3rd. Christina attended the 2023 Oregon Governor's Conference on Tourism held in Portland. Along with connecting with our Hood, Gorge, and regional partners and friends, she networked with people representing tourism statewide. For the first time, Oregon tribes were represented. This inclusion of tribes is so important to heritage, cultural awareness, and community. Christina attended with Clackamas County Tourism and Travel Oregon. Days of networking, listening to speakers on a variety of topics was very inspiring. We need to continue to grow the Estacada Chamber / Visit Estacada operations, business support, and marketing campaigns to allow the stories and future opportunities to behold. Creating a new visitor center for the benefit as an official vendor with the U.S. Forest Service will be made possible with continued full support from the city of Estacada. Regarding the new visitor centers, we have not incurred any expenses yet. We have applied for a T-Mobile grant of $50,000 and a Mount Hood Territory grant for $75,000. These funds will be used to build out the office space on Broadway. I can't emphasize strongly enough how fortunate we are to have Christina as our creative director. She continues to strengthen her strong ties with various tourism groups throughout the region and state. She has brought Estacada to the forefront of places to visit in Oregon. She continues to seek a wider audience to promote Estacada as a destination worth visiting. Nancy continues to be the administrative backbone of the chamber. She is a key contact for our members. She's the behind the scenes person for the newsletter, webpage, chamber functions, and events. Nancy and Christine are just doing a fabulous job. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to keep you informed of the important service the Chamber is providing to the city of Estacada. Any questions?
No, I think you covered it all, Connie. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. You have a nice evening. All right, we are at the mayor council reports and comments. So I'll start off. Yeah, go for it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So first off, I just want to start off by saying thank you, staff. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you guys all for showing up, and thanks all the reps from the different commissions coming in and giving us their updates. The one thing I really wanted to talk about, Shirley Burke brought up earlier, that's the speed limit sign on Wade Street. I really would like to see that speed limit sign pushed further towards Hinman. So just a couple of experiences, that I can share. 2 Saturdays ago, it was Saturday night. I was coming home from my son's house up in the new development on Deuce. I was coming down the old highway, and it's not a secret. I'm a slow driver. I hit city limits. And I dropped to somewhere between 20 and 25. But the headlights coming up behind me were coming up so fast that I tapped on my brakes a few times just to make sure that the people, knew that I was there. I didn't want them to come up behind and, cause an accident. So the traffic coming into town they're coming in so fast that they're not really giving themselves enough time to respond. In that 25-mile-per-hour speed limit zone, that sign is so close to the library that if people start slowing down right there, there's going to be a problem, especially with the increased amount of pedestrian traffic that we're going to have this spring and summer with the new park being open. I would really love to see that speed limit sign move further towards Hinman, as far down as we can get it. Maybe keep the one that's there and add another sign, but maybe even a flashing 25-mile-per-hour sign, just something to get these people's attention, to let them know that they need to slow down. Just this last week, there was a cat run over right there, and I know this happens this happens everywhere all the time, but we uprooted. By turning that pond back into a creek, we uprooted all of those ducks that have been part of this community for longer than more than half of our Estacada residents. Unfortunately, a duck got run over this week, and I just would hate for that to escalate and become more of a thing, especially with the increased pedestrian traffic that will be going through there. So I would really love to see that sign pushed further towards Hinman. But that's all I have to say, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. The city, thank you for the packets as always. I'm really excited about all the commissions and all the work they're doing. It takes a lot to be a volunteer, and I really appreciate you guys. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight, and those of you who stuck around from our previous meeting that we had for council. So way to hang in there. Appreciate staff putting together the packet for that. And I really appreciate having a pretty cut and dry meeting tonight. Pretty easy peasy. And thanks to all the commissions and committees for all the hard work they're doing. I really, I appreciate what Bennett had to say about the attendance. The committees and commissions that I've sat for, maybe I've just, we've been fortunate and we've not had an attendance issue, but I know it's been hard to keep members on these boards. And so I really appreciate what she had to say about attendance and people making a commitment to these committees and commissions. And it really is important, and it really does impact the work that's being done in the city. So yeah, I just kind of want to follow through with that, and hope the rest of us counselors can as well with all our other respective committees and commissions. So, and thanks for coming.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, I have a couple things I wanted to cover today. So first of all, based upon the fact we're going into Mental Health Awareness Month next month, I do want to point out that 22 vets a day commit suicide. And we have a pandemic in that area of vets that lose their lives. These are people that served our country, that fought to defend the freedoms that we have today. And I think that we owe them as not only Americans, or as in my case, a prior service, to support those who fought for us, to fight for them. That's through awareness and other support, and providing them the resources that they need to get that treatment. So second thing is, I might hope that the city staff can maybe put the speed cart thing that we have out, the trailer out there in the meantime, till we get something worked out with the speed thing. That is an issue. And if we can do that, that might be at least be a temporary stopgap to slow some people down for a short period. Last thing I want to do is I want to talk about something that actually Representative Heap had actually brought to my attention, on many people's attention recently, and that's House Bill 2002. This is a very concerning bill that just came out of one of the committees in the state House side, and I don't remember the committee it was, so. Okay, it's up for the base. Representative He just said it came out of Ways and Means Committee, and it's up for the floor vote on Monday. Now, what's concerning about this bill is, according to the House legal staff, they identified that it can allow for kids as young as 10 years old, or really, I think she actually said any age, to get an abortion without any notification of any parents or having any parents involved, get gender reassignment surgery without any parents involved. It can actually provide a criminal act if you, as a parent, were to get involved with trying to stop or come between that act and the child, and up to 365 days in jail and a $6,500 fine. There's many other things about education stuff that I didn't agree with, and it's a 45-page bill of concern that it seemed at first, when it was talking about 10 years old, can come down to, when I watched it on the committee, it seemed that it was a bipartisan concern for it, but yet somehow it got rammed through with only an hour discussion through the committee. So my hope is that it fails on the floor and it allows for a lot more discussion to come back into this bill so there can be a bipartisan agreement. But it's our job to protect our kids, and it's not the state's job to come in between the parents and the kids in their job to protect it. So I completely against this bill. I hope people would educate themselves. That's House Bill 2002. You can find it online. And if you guys don't agree with it, please reach out to your state, provide, whether you guys have things you agree with or don't agree with on it, provide your response to the state. So, and I'm sure that Representative He would love to talk to you about it too after the meeting. So thank you.
I just wanted to echo the thanks to the commissions, the folks that came out tonight. The volunteers that are on those commissions put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it takes a lot to show up for all the meetings, and just really appreciate it. They're full now, or at least they seem to be full now, but there are openings that will be coming at some point. So just want to encourage people to consider a commission. But if you can't do a commission, there are plenty of volunteer opportunities within the commissions as well, too. I think a couple of them mentioned short-term things, just show up, help out at the 4th of July parade, help out at the Oktoberfest, just anything it takes to do anything along those lines. Get involved. It's a lot of fun. This is a great city. We're heading in a really positive direction, and this is a great way to be a part of that as well, too. So thanks for the folks tonight. Thanks for the city getting us going, and the good discussion tonight too.
Just like to say thank you to everyone that came out tonight. I'm excited about all the activities and events that are coming up. Sounds like some pretty exciting ones that are going to be coming through. And I appreciate how prepared the representatives from all the committees were tonight in sharing their budgets and also the plans for the upcoming year. Excited to see that, and just appreciate the city staff for all the work you guys do. Thank you.
Well, they've already said everything, so I'm not even going to go into it, but I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's always good to see all of you, and it makes our job better when I see the people out there that we represent actually showing up, and I know we're doing the right thing. So I appreciate all of you, and keep coming. I know it's not always fun, but keep coming, please. I thank you for that, and this meeting is adjourned.
And